Apadam apahartaram dataram sarvasampadam lokabhiramam Shriramam bhuyo bhuyo namamyaham. So, welcome to the penultimate, what do we call, the lecture, penultimate discourse of this series. Sometimes when I look back, I myself cannot believe that you have sat through 44 hours of torture. So 22 sessions, each session of 2 hours, and mostly you can add 1 or 2 hours extra as well, because I have taken so much of extra minutes from you as well. Anyway, so here we are at the penultimate lecture of this series, and this series shall end on I mean, in English we don't have a better word other than end. Mangalam bhavati. In sophisticated Kannada, we use the word mangalavagutte. It means that it comes to a good end or something like that. Or in a mediocre Kannada and in a medium level of Kannada, the second level of Kannada, we usually use the word hechatte. That's common across many families. For example, if they are practicing any vrata or anything, they don't say that I vrata mugiyatte, they say I vrata hechatte. So it's and that is the variants of this usage is available in India across all languages. So if you go to any shop and if you ask any shop owner in northern part of India, Dukan band karna is not the word they use amongst themselves. They call it as Dukan badhana. So it is equivalent to Hechud, Dukan badhana. That's how they usually say that. No, I fondly remember it because my supervisor used to tell me, Chalo Viśvāmitra dukan badhate hain. So I did not used to get what he means by dukan badhana. He means let us close. So that's a term that usually we find, and that shows how our country is united in spite having language barriers as well. Even though we are separated by languages, the core idea remains the same. The core idea being that you don't use the word ending. You use it as something that that evolves into something great. Anyway, so this is the penultimate one, and I just wanted to tell all of you that the next session will be not be completely 2 hours of me giving the or delivering the lecture. Will be close to 1 hour or max to max 1.5 hours, depending on where we end the story today. And the remaining half an hour, at least half an hour, will be given to all of you to share your views and also how you have received the story so far and all those things. So we all would definitely appreciate your feedback in the next session that is going to happen on that auspicious day of Ramanavami, that is 30th of this month. Okay, these are some of the technical things that I have to tell you, which I have told. So it's completely out of my system now. Now we can get back into the story. Now, the story in the previous lecture ended in a very unusual stage because Ravana is down, Ravana is dead. And after that, Vibhishana starts feeling connected. Like the kind of shoka and moha we find in Arjuna in Mahabharata Yuddha, the same kind of shoka and moha can be found in Vibhishana as well. Krishna had to use 700 verses. He had to give him a long discourse in order to lift Arjuna out of that mess. Rama simply had to say that, either you do it or I'm going to do it myself. That's all. Maranantani vairani nirvrittam naf prayojanam kriyatamasya samskaraha mamapyesha yathatha. That's one of the iconic lines by Rama. Mamapyesha yathatha. So afterwards, Ravana's Antya Samskara is done, and Mandodari praises and understood. She reveals what Rama truly is. See, even though the Rama Tattva, it's actually Dharma itself has come out in the form of Rama. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. That's the statement. Even when the Dharma itself has come in a human form, it's not easy for every human being to identify Dharma. See, even the mere identification is that much difficult for us mortals. Manushyanam sahasreshu. This is what Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhai. See, out of 1,000, one man tries. One man at least attempts, not even trying. He attempts to try to know what is the truth. Kaschid yatati siddhaye. Yatatamopi siddhanam. Not everybody who attempts to try succeeds in their attempt. Or there is no guarantee of success even if you attempt to understand the truth of life. Yatatamopi siddhanam. And even if somebody succeeds in understanding, Krishna says that not everybody who understands Brahma Tattva or Paratattva knows truly Brahma Tattva. Yatatamopi siddhanam kaschinmam vetti tattvataha. You see, when we take a look at this, we can understand in the flow chart, where do we stand? I mean, if there is rock bottom, and even if there are some more steps down there, that's where we belong. That's how difficult it is to identify Dharma, even if it comes in a mortal form. But Mandodari was a tapaswini. All the women in Ramayana are generally, barring a couple of them, like, the likes of Manthara, the likes of Shurpanakha, barring a few, most of the women depicted in Valmiki's Ramayana are all tapaswinis. And those people who want to study feminism or role of women in Ramayana, they conveniently miss this point. They never mention this point. You can take a note. You can go and read their thesis if you are interested in garbage. Sorry, absolutely sorry. Because they never regard, they never give credit to the women of Ramayana the way these women deserve the credit. All these women deserve the credit of being a tapaswini. Not a single scholar will ever mention this point regarding the women of Ramayana. They all will give as a picture that women in Ramayana were oppressed. Nonsense, utter nonsense and rubbish. Nowhere has it been mentioned that they were oppressed. I know the story that we are going to take up now might give you a few jolts. And I'm prepared for that, because I know that there are going to be some arrows shot at me today, but I am prepared. Anyway, so moving on, Sita was finally brought from Ashokavana to the Ranarangam, to the battlefield. And Rama says that she doesn't require to be carried on a palkin. Let her walk, let her witness what bloodshed did it take to win her back. It was all because it was all because of her, or it was no, she was the main cause for which they all fought. So she must witness all these things. Now, this can be, I know that this can be misinterpreted in several ways, but let me elevate this point, this entire idea, to a level where people usually become niruttara. They don't get any unwanted questions. There is this concept of Prakriti and Purusha in Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya Darshana. When I mean Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya Darshana has this concept of Prakriti and Purusha. Purusha does nothing. He merely exists. And Purusha's existence is sufficient enough for Prakriti to create and procreate and evolve. So if Prakriti needs to understand anything, it requires the assistance, it requires the connection of Purusha. Rama is only making that connection here. He is the Purusha here, and Sita is the form of Prakriti. And whatever has happened, it was not witnessed by Sita, that is Prakriti. Therefore, he is bringing it to the notice of Prakriti, because all these documents, everything needs to be submitted to the office of Prakriti. You don't submit anything to the office of Purusha, because Purusha does not take any mails at all. He doesn't entertain any mails in his inbox. He keeps it clean, spick and clean. Anything you want from Purusha, you write a letter to Prakriti, and Prakriti shall deal with it. That's the whole scenario. Therefore, whatever bloodshed has happened, whatever has happened in that battlefield, on that battlefield, the Prakriti Mata needs to acknowledge it. She doesn't have to witness it. That's not what Rama is asking. He is only asking Sita to acknowledge it, that yes, this is the price that we had to pay in order to get rid of Ravana. That's all. So when this is the kind of calculation or relation that Rama and Sita share, I dare somebody to call that this was uncalled for. He should have not asked Sita to walk on that bloody battlefield. All of a sudden, they get a heart of, softened heart. All of a sudden. Okay, no need to show that mithya sympathy towards Sita. She very much understood her role. She is Prakriti Mata. See, when Rama is known to be the king, automatically she is the queen. And the queen has equal, she also bears the responsibility equally. She shares the responsibility equally. There is no, what do we call, bipartisanship. There is no partiality there. Okay, fine. Moving on. Now, Rama at last speaks to Sita. He says that Yatvam Virahita Nita Chalachittena Rakshasa. See, when I was not there with you, Ravana abducted you. And we all know that what happened. And Sampraptam, and that was Daiva Sampadito Doshaha. That all happened because of fate. He is not blaming anybody. You don't get a better person than Rama in your life. He never blamed Kaikeyi even after she hurled abuses at him. She compared him with Asamanja. That's like, ridiculous levels of comparing. And yet Rama never once blamed Kaikeyi on her face. He always showed the same amount of respect to her. Likewise here, he says that whatever happened, it was not because of Sita. I mean, he's not complaining that you were careless. If Rama had ever told Sita, then you could have lifted your bloody finger and pointed at Rama and saying that, he was a misogynist. He mistreated his wife and all such nonsense. You could have lifted a finger if Rama had ever told Sita that it was all because of your mistake, your carelessness, that you were abducted by Ravana. Has he ever mentioned that kind of a line ever in Valmiki's Ramayana? Never. So if anybody is a poet out there who wants to attain fame, do not use this kind of idea, because this is not the right idea to gain fame. You may become famous by introducing this fresh idea, fresh perspective of Ramayana. Don't. Okay, please don't. So he says that Daiva Sampadito Doshaha, whatever happened, it was unfortunate. And Rama admits that. And whatever misfortune happens to us, that needs to be rectified by our Purushaprayatna. The brilliant understanding of Daiva and Purushaprayatna produced, directed, designed, and showed to you by Rama. This is how you write an epic. It should all connect from the point where you began. You go to Ayodhya-kanda, you will see Rama claiming that Daiva is supreme, Daiva is superior. Nobody can break that. When Lakshmana tries to argue with him, he says that no, we cannot overcome Daiva. Not immediately. That's what Rama meant. Because the plan that Lakshmana was suggesting, to behead Daśaratha, claim the ownership of the kingdom by himself, that's not the way you claim victory over Daiva. If Daiva has done something wrong to you, or you feel that you have been cheated of what you deserved, then you wait the time, then you bide the time, and you work hard along the lines of, along within the boundaries of that Daivam, and then you rectify it. That's the power of Purushaprayatna. Even Jyotisha agrees with this. But it comes with a sense of caution. You cannot simply go on and claim that, whatever happens in my life, it all happens because of my own efforts. No, that is nonsense. It doesn't work that way. We need to understand where exactly we are sinking, and only sinking synchronization. Where is that synchronization happening between nature and our efforts. And here Rama says that Daiva sampadito dosho manushena maya jitaha. And what all price did he have to pay? And what all struggle did Rama have to go through in order to rectify the mistake, the unfortunate event that happened in his life? That was abduction of Sita in his absence. And he has rectified it. Now he says that he who has strength but never does anything against injustice, it's no use for him to be a strong man. If you truly have strength, then you must fight injustice. That's the gist of Rama's words. Pashyatastam tu Ramasya. And now he says that what all he summarizes it. They crossed the ocean, they fought so many warriors, they killed, they overcame Indrajit, and all these things he tells her. And then he's looking at her, and every time Rama looks at her, his heart is broken into two pieces. Rama's heart is broken into two halves. On one half, I'm not going to tell you what Rama is feeling on one half. That's the best half. That's the misunderstood, not understood, not even misunderstood, not even touched part of Rama's heart. And the other half, too much interpreted, too much misinterpreted part of Rama's heart. And that's what we are going to see now. Valmiki is a very, very clever poet. He purposefully shows the wrong side of Rama's heart, which appears to be wrong, only appears to be wrong. It's like Kage Bangara. Okay, it's a mirage. It appears to be wrong, that's all, but it's not wrong, because beneath that, you find the purity of Rama's heart. Okay, he says that I have won you, okay, fair and square, by defeating Ravana. And don't think that viditastastu bhadrante yoyam rana parishramaha, and all the effort of these great men in this fight, let that be known to you. Now, prapta charitra sandeha. This is the word that many people cannot digest. How can Valmiki use this word about Sita? Prapta charitra sandeha. There is a tinge of doubt hovering over Sita's character. And this is the exact translation of the word prapta charitra sandeha. So therefore, you are standing in front of me like this. You are appearing in front of me like this. He's not viewing Sita as Sita. He's viewing Sita as thousands of other people would view her. This is what it takes to be a king. Because you think like thousands of them. You think what people might perceive from this particular angle or from this particular episode. And that's exactly what Rama is doing here. So he says that Deepo Netratura Seva. Netratura is a special kind of eye-related disease which makes a person run away from light. They can't handle light. It's a special kind of disease. So when the light is turned on, when they see the light, they run away. Okay. So Chamgadar, bat, okay, Batman of this world. Okay. Those kind of people. So he says that if you bring light in front of a person who has this kind of a trouble, you are appearing to me like that. You need to understand this analogy properly. I don't have a problem with you. I have a problem with the aura that I am getting from you, or in this Gen X terminology, vibe. I am having a trouble in understanding the vibe that I am getting from you. That's all Rama is saying here. He's not suggesting that I have a problem with you, because when you come out of someone else's place after living there for 1 year, you know that person very well. The world doesn't know. So you get that aura that this person will be definitely judged by hundreds and thousands of people. And Rama is viewing that point before anyone else could point it out. Tadgachatvanujane. This is one of the most heartbreaking lines that Rama must have ever told So he says that Anujanedya, I give you permission. Permission in the sense, who is he to give permission? We cannot use proper words in English. Daridra English, I tell you. I'm sorry, but you don't get that kind of proper language to put it. Anugnya is not permission. Usually, when we begin any work, we seek blessings of our elders. That is called as Anugnya. Okay. And in Hindi, we have a beautiful word for that. We call it as samstuti. They call it as samstuti. You know what is the pathetic word for samstuti in English? Forwarding. I think you are all familiar with that word. Get it forwarded from your HOD, get it forwarded from your dean, get it forwarded from your superior. That forwarded is called as samstuti in Hindi. And if the word samstuti is so appealing to you, then think of the word in Sanskrita. It means anugnya. They are not giving you an order. They are only following the order that has already been passed on to you. Such a brilliant meaning. And how will you ever be able to co-join a word in English? I don't know. Maybe my good friend who is well versed in English can help me out later, not now. Okay. So Anujanedya. So I'm relieving you. That's what he says. I'm relieving you. The 10 directions are wide open for you. The options are aplenty for you. How come it is 10 directions? Only 8 directions, no? Urdhva and Adha. So they were not mere humans like us, They had the ability to go to Swarga as well. Mortal beings had possessed capabilities to reach Swarga with the mortal body and come back. Daśaratha used to fight for Devatas. So many kings of Raghuvamsha used to fight for Devatas. There is a great description of all those kings in Kalidasa's Raghuvamsha. So it's not an uncommon or unheard thing. It was very common back in those days. So therefore, he says that all 10 directions are open to you. My dear Janaki, my dear Maithili, you are free to go. You are relieved. You may choose whomever you want. Lakshmaneva, Bharateva. If you want to go with Lakshmana, you're free to go. If you want to go with Bharata, Shatrughna, Sugrīva, Vibhīshana, anybody of your choice, pick them. Sita was not expecting this. Just imagine what she must have been going through. I don't have to use this word because you have already judged what she have already understood. And why was Trishanku punished? Because he did not have the capacity to reach there. He wanted to reach there without any prerequisites. There are certain prerequisites for you. That is tapasya. If you do not have that tapasya, and you have to rely upon, see, what did Trishanku do? It's a fantastic question. The question is, then why did Trishanku was denied the opportunity of reaching the Swarga with this mortal body? He was denied the opportunity because he did not possess the capability by himself. That's why he sought the help of Vasishtha. Vasishtha said, I am not going to help you with my punya to get you elevated to Swarga. The likes of Daśaratha, the likes of Raghu, the likes of Dilipa, they possessed capabilities by themselves. They had that kind of capacity to reach by themselves and fight on behalf of Devatas. So that's it. We are talking about two different leagues, and they are entirely different. I hope I have answered that question. It's a valid question, beautiful question. Okay, coming back to the story now. Sita says that, why are you speaking to me like a commoner? This is how common people usually speak to their wives. Not you. You are not a commoner. That's what Sita's intention is. Why are you speaking to me like a commoner does to his wife? You are not a commoner. And do you not know what I am? Have you forgotten who I truly am? Natathasmi Mahabaho. She still pleads innocence. She says that I am not how you are perceiving me. Okay, Parityajainam Shanka, and whatever doubts you have regarding my purity, please keep them aside. You have nothing to worry about. I know at what point you may raise some objections. See, you may raise this objection saying that when I was abducted, I was touched by Ravana. So do you think I wanted Ravana to touch me while he abducted me? She says that Kamakaro name tatra. I did not want him to abduct me. Do you think that was the scenario here? No. I never wanted him to abduct me. I never wanted him to touch me. Daivam tatra paradhyati. It was fate. And nobody can be blamed. It was fate. It was supposed to happen and it happened. And you cannot pin that blame on me because I did not want that to happen. Okay. Furthermore, she adds that there was something that was totally under my control. See, sometimes body might not be under our control. Today or in 10 years down the line, we all will understand this. The only thing that we have under our control is our mind. Let me clear this now itself. The only thing that we can control absolutely 100% is our mind, not even our body. What if we visit a clinic, the doctor says that you need to be operated. You have submitted your entire body to some other person. The ownership of your body remains with that person, or not just one person. In the operation room, there are several of them. They are going to do unspeakable things to your body. They are going to cut your body. You don't know anything because you are given anesthesia, but you have submitted your body. You cannot do that with your mind if you have your mind under your control. What a brilliant lesson to all of us in these subtle words of Sita. She says that paradhineshu gatreshu kinkarishyami anishwari. See, I had no rights or no control over my body at that time. Paradhineshu gatreshu. Gatra means sharira. So my body was not under my control at that time. I could not control my body at that time. This is a lesson. This is where we identify who truly Sita is. And all those people who want to propagate their agenda by making Sita as their poster girl or poster woman, beware. You have not deserved the right to put Sita on your panel. She is elite. She is out of your league. Reason? This is the reason. Paradhineshu gatreshu kinkarishyami anishwari. Madadhinam. But there was one thing that was under my control. Madadhinantu yat. What was under my control? Chittam. My mind was under my control. And hridayam, tad hridayam, tvayi vartate. It stayed with you. Do you not know that? Can anybody answer this question? No. Now forget about answering this question. Can any woman ever boldly claim this like Sita did? Nobody can. I'm sorry, I know I'm going to offend so many people here today. No one can. Moving on. She further clarifies. She puts forth a very strong argument. See, you cannot consider me as a normal woman. I am a special one. She was the Jose Mourinho of all women. I am a special one. Okay. So Sita says that I am a special one. Why is Sita special? We usually forget about Sita's Janma. She is the only one who has a very unique Janma Vrittanta in the entire story of Ramayana. If you observe very keenly, the only person with a unique birth, because she was not born to a woman. She is Ayonija. She never came out of a mother's womb. She came out of Mother Earth. When the land was tilled, that's when Janaka got that daughter. Janaka raised her to be his daughter. He did not give birth to Sita. So therefore, Janaka is not the biological father, technically speaking, the biological father of Sita. That shows immense purity. No other woman can ever claim the level of purity that Sita is. That's why I said she's elite. She's in a different level altogether. And she says that Apadesho me Janakanna Utpattihi. And I'm not raised, I was not given birth by Janaka. Utpatti, then how did you come up? Vasudha Talat. I came from Bhutala. Okay. And Mama Vrittancha Vrittagnya Bahutena Puraskritam. And you have seen me since childhood. I married you when I was a small child. I was a little girl. Now don't call that, what is that, child marriage, etc., etc. Don't say that. Okay. This is what happens when you get a child married, so that you know them better than anyone else. Because that's the age when they grow. And when they are growing, when you are growing with them together, it's a different kind of feeling. Okay. Okay, fine. I don't want to give into details of this because it's a beautiful thought, but maybe some other time, not today. I can defend that. It's not child marriage. Just because somebody has given a name called as child marriage and made it a stigma, it doesn't mean that it needs to be so, if understood properly. That's what I'm saying. If you misunderstand it, if you're only going, see, there are two types of scholars. The Sanskrit language gives two peculiar words for two different types of scholars. There is a scholar, and that scholars are usually called as doshagnya, which means those who know the mistakes. They are called as doshagnya. Usually the scholars are referred to as doshagnya because they know the errors. And then doshaikadrik purobhagi, another word. They are called as purobhagi. What is the meaning of the word purobhagi? Those who have an eye only for the error. They can never see anything good in anything. Pessimists, narcissists, you give them whatever names you want. They are called as purobhagins. So if we are going to stay as purobhagin, then obviously we will find a mistake in everything that we do. But if we are going to see the original idea behind it, I'm not saying the implementation over the past 300 or 400 years or 500 years maybe was correct, or maybe even 1,000 years. If we take the history of 1,000 years of this land, of our country, the implementation of vivaha, the implementation of marriage, the idea, the concept of marriage has undergone several changes. It has got several modifications. I'm not arguing against it. It's a mistake. It's a collective mistake. We have to own that mistake. We acknowledge that mistake. Just because we acknowledge that mistake, it doesn't mean that the original idea was wrong. We need to try, at least attempt to understand what was the original concept behind introducing such a concept, because we do find some skeletons of it. We do find some leftover ideas from which we can reconstruct what was the original idea of the seers, the sages who brought this tradition. Okay, fine. So moving on. She says that, you have not kept that in mind. You have seen me. You have witnessed how pure I am. What is my behavior? How do I stay with people and all these things? You have observed me. You have seen me. You know me. And yet you are not considering all these things. Mithyapavadopahata. And because I have been wrongly blamed, I don't want to live anymore. Okay. Especially with a man who does not consider, who does not acknowledge, or who fails to acknowledge the attributes that have, the qualities that I possess. Okay. Yakshamame gatirgantum pravekshe havyavahanam. Therefore, and please pay attention, it was not Rama's order that Sita should enter into fire. These are the words of Sita herself. Ordinance of fire claimed by Sita herself, because she did not want to live anymore. She says that Yakshamame gatirgantum pravekshye havyavahanam. I shall enter. That is the future tense. Pravekshye means I shall enter. Havyavahanam. Havyavahanam means Agni, fire. I shall step into fire. She looked at Lakshmana, gave an order to Lakshmana, prepare the fire. Poor Lakshmana, why are you घसीट रहे हो उसको क्यों? मतलब बेचारा वो चुपचाप खड़ा है वहां. And he's like, what should I do? He looked at, helplessly. He was the only person in that entire battlefield who could look into Rama's eyes, even if it was for a fraction of a second. Valmiki describes in the very next moment There was not a single soul who was breathing in that area who could have talked. Forget about talking. They could not even lift their eyes to look at Rama. That's how Rama looked. Because when dharma needs to establish itself, it finds the purest, the toughest form of ordinance. And the toughest form of ordinance to prove purity of anything is fire. There are only two things that can prove the purity of anything. If you want to test the purity of anything, there are only two things: water and fire. Tirthodakancha vanhischa nanyata shuddhim arhatah. I very rarely quote people who, apart from Valmiki, when I talk about Valmiki's Ramayana, and there are only two people whom I usually quote. One is it should be either Kalidasa or it should be either Bhavabhuti. These are the only two poets who have actually understood the true heart of Valmiki. And this line, Tirthodakancha vanhischa nanyata shuddhimarhata, is taken from Bhavabhuti. And he speaks in the same episode, which is not told by Valmiki, but he has understood the heart of Valmiki and he has brought it out so beautifully in his epic play, Uttararamcharitam. He says that there are only two things. Tirthodaka is water and fire. Fire is grade 1. Water is grade 2. So Sita chose the highest graded form of proving herself. It could not have got any better than this. I hope you are getting the clarity of the intention behind these Prakriti and Purusha. When Prakriti needs to cleanse herself, when Prakriti needs to prove herself, it rarely happens. Once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon, not every day. Because Prakriti is that pure and that pious. But when she has to prove her purity, she chooses that toughest path available, the toughest exam available, and that is ordinance by fire. And Sita took that. She looked at Lakshmana, gave an order to Lakshmana. Lakshmana Paraviraha. Where is that? Uvacha Lakshmanam Sita. Chitam me kuru Saumitra. This is the line, order given to Lakshmana. Chitam, prepare the fire for me. Lakshmana, Amarshavashamapanno Raghavam Samudakshata. He had mixed feelings. Like, this is probably the only time where he felt that, what are you doing about Rama? And he looked perplexed at Rama, asking that, are you sure that you want to do this? Are you allowing this to happen in front of all these people? So many questions coming in Lakshmana's mind. And he was able to express all of them only in his eyes. This is what brotherhood seems like. No words were exchanged between Rama and Lakshmana, by the way. He just looked at Rama, Samudayikshata. That's all. Udayikshata means he just saw Rama. And Savijñāya Manaschandam Ramasya Akara Suchitam. Rama did not even blink his eyes, my friends. Rama did not even close his eyes. He did not even blink. Then Rama looked in such a stature. He looked in such a form. And when you stand, you take a stand like that. I don't know how to take that stand. None of us know. Honestly, none of us know. Because we have not understood the depth of dharma. Rama knew the depth of dharma. Therefore, he stood in such a way that Lakshmana understood that, oh, this is this level. Okay. I thought this was happening in mortal level. No. This is a different ball game. It's elevated now. So he prepared. And Nahi Raman Tadakast. And this is the line that I was talking about. At that moment, nobody could look at Rama. Anunetum. Forget about Anunetum. Anunetum is try and put some sense into Rama. What are you? Are you joking? You could not even look into Rama. Vaktum, no, not a chance. Drashtumapi ashakat. Nobody was even able to look at Rama. If you want to imagine this, imagine what Mahadeva would have looked when he opened his third eye to burn down Manmatha. Nobody was able to look at him. Pralayantaka. I know. This word has been misinterpreted and misused in Kannada language. I'm extremely sorry for that. But The actual meaning of the word pralayantaka is antaka means mrityu, antaka means death. Death itself is scary at all times. But when death comes at pralaya, it is in a different level. That's why it is called as pralayantaka. Okay. Oh, what is happening today? So many, different meanings and different perspectives coming in. Fine. And then she makes a beautiful statement before she steps into fire. She actually stepped into fire. And before that, she makes these claims. She makes a pratigna. Yatha me hridayam nityam napasarpati raghavate. If this is true, okay, if my heart, if my mind has never once, even for a fraction of a second, has not moved away from Rama, how are we ever going to understand this concept? No movie can ever show this. No author can ever bring this. This is something that can only be understood through tapasya. No movie can ever show this. No sort of lyrics can bring out this feeling that Sita had for Rama. Okay, Sita Ramam 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. No, impossible. She says that Yatha me hridayam nityam na apasarpati raghavad. Do you know when do we use the word sarpa? Sarpa is not the snake wala sarpa. Sarpa is a kriyapadam. It's a verb in Sanskrit that is usually used to move a little bit. That's when you use the word sarpa. She says that she did not even flinch a little bit. Her mind, her chittam, her heart did not even flinch even a tiny bit from Rama. And if this is true, tatha lokasya sakshi mam. If that is true, then Agni is one of the sakshis. There are 11 sakshis in this entire world. Okay. Aditya Chandra Vanala Nilaucha Deurbhumirapo Hridayam Yamascha Ahascha Ratrischa Ubhecha Sandhye Dharmascha Janati Narasya Vrittam. So these are the sakshis. What do you call that in English? Sakshi, we call them on what?
Witness.
Witness.
Testimony.
Yes. Witness. Thank you.
Testimony.
Yes. Yeah. Testimony. Correct. So witness testimony. These are the eternal witnesses of this world, and Agni happens to be one of them. Anala Nilaucha. Anala is Agni. So she says he is Lokasakshi. He is witness for the entire world. So if Rama might not know, people might not know, but Agni knows, isn't it? So if my heart has never flinched a tiny bit, not even an inch from Rama, then Sarvatah Patu Pavakaha, let Pavakaha, fire, protect me from all the directions. This is before entering into fire. I mean, this is beyond something. It was not that she knew very well that it was a dragon egg that she had. So dragons cannot be burnt by fire. So therefore, if she entered into fire with dragon eggs, she won't be burnt. No, that is common sense. That is factual knowledge. This is claiming out of tapasya. This is power of tapasya speaking. Okay. So never ever, I mean, yes, of course, I am the one who is giving the analogy here. This analogy needs to be understood not on barabar level, not on equal level. This needs to be understood on this level. This is where Sita is. This is where you cannot even see. Okay, fine. Moving on. Second one. Yathamam shuddha charitram dushtan janati Raghava. Even though I am pious, Raghava seems to think that I have some error in my character. Okay. If that is true, and if that is true in the sense, if I have always stayed true to Rama, Sarvatah Patu Pavakaha, let fire protect me from everywhere. And Karmana, Manasa, Vacha, Yatha Nati Charamyaham. Okay. I think they also made a movie out of this. She was not angry. She was not upset. She was nothing at that moment. Not at all. Do you think any angry person or a person who is upset can make these kind of claims? Just look at the usage of words. If she was upset with Rama, then wait, I will show you some peculiar words that she uses. Raghavam Sarvadharmagnyam. Why did she have to use the word Sarvadharmagnyam for Raghava as an adjective? Sarvadharmagnyam is not only does he understand dharma of himself, but he also understands dharma of this entire world. Sarvadharmagnyam. Why would she use that adjective? It was not a sarcastic comment in no sense. In no way it was a sarcastic comment. Because it doesn't qualify to be a sarcastic comment. Because if it is sarcasm, you would get a sense of it. Like how you got a sense of sarcasm when Viśvāmitra told Daśaratha that if this is your decision, may you live a long and prosperous life. He did not mean that when he denied him after he gave his word to Viśvāmitra. That was sarcasm, not this one. This is not sarcasm. Or there is a better example for sarcasm. I'm glad that Saraswati ji asked this question. Gentle reminder that he sent to Sugrīva. That is sarcasm. Nasa sankuchitah pantha yena Vālī hato gataha samaye tishta Sugrīva ma Vālī pathama. That is sarcasm. That's highest level of sarcasm. That's not even threatening. It's only reminding him in a sarcastic way, pure sarcasm. Okay, but this was not sarcasm. Sita was not at that. Okay, that question is also, successfully handled. Okay, moving on. Third thing, karmana manasa vacha yatha nati charamyaham. Not by my deeds, not by my mind, not by my speech have I ever overdone Raghava's heart, Raghava's hridayam, Raghava's chitta. If this is Bhagavat chitta, I mean, this is the usual word that we hear in some families. They usually say that Bhagavat chitta. It means, God's order. However it is, let it happen. That kind of a thing. So she says that if I have not crossed Raghava in any of these forms, you can only cross somebody through these three forms, either by speech, either by deeds, or either by either by your thoughts. And she says that she claims that I have not. And whom have I not crossed? Raghavam Sarvadharmagnyam. Okay, a man who knows everything. If I have never crossed him, then Sarvatah Patu Pavakaha. And then she lists out the other witnesses. She did not only call upon Agni to be her witness for her purity. She calls upon Aditya, Vayu, all the directions, Chandra, Ahaha, Sandhya, that is, morning and evening, Ahascha, Api Sandhya, Ratri, Prithivi, Evamuktva tu Vaidehi, Parikramya Hutashanam. She did a parikrama of Hutashana, that is Agni. She did a pradakshanam of Agni, and then she entered. And every single person out there, they looked at Sita. Now, if you are a poet, how would you describe this scene of your protagonist, Sita, by her own will, entering the fire, by her own will, underline, bold, italics, everything, by her own will, entering the fire? How would you describe it? What kind of analogy will you come up with? Valmiki comes up with an analogy. I don't care if this takes a bit longer for you to understand. I am going to say this for the record. Valmiki's analogy is this. Patantim samskritam mantraihi vasordharam ivadhvare. Adhvara is yajnam. Okay. What kind of feeling you get when you observe a vasordhara being done in a yajnam? Vasordhara is Purnahuti. When Purnahuti happens, what kind of mindset do you have? If you have performed as a yajamana, or if you have been a part of any yajna, if you have seen it from very close quarters, how do you feel about Purnahuti? Exactly, like a baby getting into its mother's arms. That's how you offer. See, the word Purnahuti or Vasordhara is whatever you have, you are not simply pouring it. You're not simply putting it to fire. You're actually pouring your heart out. That's why it is called as Vasordhara. Okay. And that is refined. Not simply just because you have tons of ghee, you are pouring it into fire. That's not Purnahuti. That's not Vasordhara. Then what is it? Valmiki explains it. See, Vasordharam. What kind of Vasordharam? Mantraihi Samskritam, refined by Vedic mantras. If your offering to the fire god is refined by Vedic mantras in a Adhvara, that kind of feeling everybody got. That itself shows that it was not out of rage, it was not out of anger, it was not out of, what do you call that? I don't remember these kind of words about Rama, sorry, because that was not Rama for you. Because I've never seen Rama like that. I've never understood Rama like that. I have never spoken about Rama like that. He did not do it on purpose. He did not do it to hurt Sita. He did not do it to show that women needs to be, no, nothing like that. And in order to get something justified, proven, hallmark, that hallmark that we put on gold standard. And even for gold to become proper gold, to attain its hallmark, it needs to go through the ordinance of fire. And that's what Sita did. And Akka Saliga was our Rama. There you go. He was the goldsmith at this point. Only, there is a famous saying, only a goldsmith understands the true value of a gold. Only a true Johri can identify the jewelry. Johri can identify true jewelry. Rama was the Johri and Sita was the jewelry, gold jewelry. And we are all mute spectators. Underline, bold, italics, everything mute. Because we don't have any rights whatsoever to lift any organ of our body regarding this incident. Because we don't understand in what level this incident is being played. This is something that the nature does for itself to prove what is dharma. We don't even know we have not even scratched the upper portions of dharma. We have not even opened the wrapper of dharma. How would we ever get to the depth of dharma? Okay, it was done. And then immediately the gods appeared. Usually happens, right? After Purnahuti, the gods appear. Valmiki and storytelling, a match made in heaven. This is how you write an epic. This is how you take a story forward. Everybody, Yama, Indra, Varuna, Kubera, everyone came there. Not just all those people, even Shadanana came. Shadanana is Skanda, Subramanya came. Mahadeva came. Lokapitamaha, Brahma also came. 117th Sarga of Uttarakanda is not usually famous. Nobody knows that there is one more stotra hidden in Ramayana. When we talk of stotram in Ramayana, the only stotra that comes to our mind is Aditya Hridayam. But there is one more hidden jewel in Ramayana, and I'm going to reveal it to you. If you ever feel that you need one more stotra from Ramayana, then do read this. This is a stuti done by Brahma himself. They say that they all came and Brahma started speaking to Rama. Why are you ignoring Sita like a commoner? Do you not understand who you are? Do you not realize who you are? You are the one. Why are you acting like someone? You are not someone. You are the one. What could be Rama's response to this? Atmanam manusham manye Ramam Daśarathatmajam. This is my hero. Even when the gods came and beat their trumpets in front of Rama, saying that you are Paramapurusha, that this, he still claims Atmanam manusham manye Ramam Daśarathatmajam. I am Daśaratha's son, named as Rama, and I am a human being. If you can find a better hero than this, I will stop narrating the story of Ramayana for the rest of my life. You can never find a better hero than this. He does not even want to soak the divine glory that is being bestowed upon him for free. And then there are people who claim themselves to be Sadguru, who claim themselves to be Jagadguru, who claim themselves to be Adi Guru. What all nonsense in this world is going on? And here he is, Rama, flesh and bone, just like us, standing in front of everyone. Even when the gods have appeared in front of him, the creator of this universe is telling him that you are the Parama Purusha. He says, Atmanam Manusham Manye Ramam Daśarathatmajam. If I am anything else, please let me know. You might know, you are the gods. You might know who I am. I don't know. I consider myself, I identify myself as Daśaratha's son, Rama. Why did he have to do this? He did it deliberately for our sake. For our sake, to show that even a mortal human being, if he follows dharma to the word, to the last syllable, he can attain this state. He can elevate himself to this level. That's Rama for you. Okay. Soham yascha yatashchaham bhagavans tadbravitume. So you are the Bhagavan. So where am I from? Who am I? Everything. You may reveal it to me. And then Brahma, the creator of this universe, praises Rama. That's the stotram that I was talking about. And you please go through this stotram because of time constraint, I cannot go through this stotram. At the end, the Phalashruti of this stotram is Imamarsham Stavam Divyam Itihasam Puratanam Yenarah Kirtaishyanti Nasti Tesham Parabhava. Those who sing this stotram shall never be defeated in their life. How come they will never be defeated? Because Rama was never defeated, because he stood as a testimony to dharma. That's why. Okay, moving on. After this, is there a name for this? No name. No name. Brahmakrita Rama Stotram. You can give it a name. Brahmakrita Rama Stotram. 117th Sarga of Uttarakanda. 117. Okay. And after this, Agni brings the fire, the god of fire brings Sīta, keeping her on his lap. That's like, father-daughter relationship. Because you go to our Vaidika Sahityam, you go to our Vedic literature, you will find ample number of denotations where Agni is considered as the Pita and Bhumi is considered as the Mata. If we remember correctly, Sīta came out from the earth. Therefore, she happens to be her Mata and Agni happens to be her Pita. So, Ankenādāya Vaidehim. And when Valmiki uses the word Anka, I absolutely love it, I tell you. Ankenāropya Bharatam. Ankenāropya Lakshmanam. So many instances he uses this. And now, for one last time, he uses this for Sīta. Ankenādāya Vaidehim. Utpapata Vibhavasuhu. He did not appear. Utpapata. He jumped out of fire. That's because he was waiting to prove. Because there was a small advertisement in between created by Valmiki. It did not happen like this. Okay. The moment Sīta stepped into fire, it's like the likes of Vasishtha applying for PhD. if Vasishtha went to any university and applied for PhD admission, university will run to him and say, take the degree. It was just like that. Sīta is an epitome of purity, and she wants to prove her purity by stepping into fire. Fire was laughing. Kya kar rahi ho beti? No. You don't have to do this. Ankenāropya Vaidehim. Utpapata Vibhavasuhu. And then Vidhuyatha Chitam Tantu Vaidehim Havyavahana. He presented it. Yeshate Rama Vaidehi. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. It happens every time I talk about this episode. Yeshate Rama Vaidehi. Papamasyam Navidyate. You can get a character certificate from your school, from your teachers, from your parents, from your best friends. The greatest ever character certificate that needs to be given to anybody is from the fire itself, because fire is our life. Without fire, there is no life for any of us, especially for us Bharatiyas. Okay. So now Agni is proving Sīta. How does he prove? Eshate Rama Vaidehi Papamasyam Navidyate. Okay. There is no Papa in her. Prove it properly. Naiva Vacha. Na Manasa. not by her speech, not by her thoughts, not by her intellect, not even by her eyesight. The level of detailing that Agni is going through, that proves what a brilliant woman Sita was. And in order to stay like this, it takes only one word, fill up the blanks. It takes tapasya. And tapasya se logon ki phatti hai. I'm sorry to use this language. People are scared of tapasya. That's why they want to propagate their own agenda by maligning the character of Rama. And for that purpose, they are using Sita as their poster woman. That's the biggest ever joke the world has ever played in the context of Ramayana. I hope if I have been able to reveal this joke to you over the course of all these hours, 46 hours of effort, would be rendered fruitful if you have understood that how the people who have narrated the story to us have deliberately tried to sabotage two of our greatest heroes, Rama and Sita. It's all a propaganda, that's all. Truth is this. Suvritta vritta shautiriam natvam atyacharat shubha. She did not cross you, not even by eyesight. If you remember correctly, how did Sita ever speak to Ravana whenever he came to torture her? Trinamantaratah kritva ababhashe. She kept a trinam, a grass. Why? Because she did not want to even look at Ravana. Do you want me to prove anything else regarding Sita's purity? That is not me asking. Agni is asking this. God of fire. He is asking Rama, what else do I have to give you in proof? I love only these words. Okay, I'm going to highlight only these words. Tvachitta. Okay, her entire heart belongs to you. Tvat parayana. She does everything for you. This is pure bhakti yoga, isn't it? Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mame vaishyasi kaunteya. And when we hear these words spoken by Bhagavan Krishna to Arjuna, we get a different sense. But if you play this same logic to Rama and Sita, why does it become, what is that, suppression? Why is this suppressing of a woman? You tell me. I don't understand the logic at all. Okay, I definitely would love to get a question on this line that I just said. How is it logical for us to believe when Krishna asked Arjuna to submit himself to the Supreme One? That's bhakti. We all appreciate it. But when the same logic is applied here, tvachita tvatparayana, for Sita and Rama, how is it submissive? I mean, in a different way. No, they use the word submissive as if it is wrong to submit yourself. Yeah, if you submit yourself to an idiot, yes, it is wrong. If you submit yourself to Rama, then there is nothing wrong. What if, no, this question is not needed. This half is not needed. I have to control it myself. Some information need not be revealed because it may hurt you. Some people come up with the question, okay, fine, let me tell this. Some people come up with the question that, I live with a person who does not qualify to be Rama. Yes, of course, you don't even qualify to be Sita either. That's the truth. We are not claiming that all men are Rama. So don't ever claim that you are all Sita. Then what should we do? Here is the idea. There is an idea. For every man, oh, I think I know, yeah, I remember this. It just came to me when I was teaching to my students. I was teaching Upanishads to them, and this line came to me. I told them that, what is a man's true strength? What do you think defines a man? His dehabalam, physical strength? No. Toxic, what is that? Masculinity. Nonsense. Okay, mental strength. No, again, that is borderline toxic masculinity. I said, shoot both of them. It's not physical, it's not mental, it's not intellectual. Do you know what is the true definition of a man? True balam of a man? You have heard about Dehabalam. You have heard about Manobalam. You have heard about Buddhibalam. Have you ever heard the word Atmabalam? Hey, that is manhood. That is manhood. If you remember properly, that there was an attribute listed by Valmiki in the beginning of Ramayana. Atmavan ko jitakrodha. Had asked, is there a person who is Atmavan? That is Atmabalam. Proper definition of a man. Manhood has always been defined by Atmabalam. What is Atmabalam? To know what we truly are. And if a man has understood, has comprehended what he truly is, like how Rama did, what is so wrong about being submissive to a person who has understood the Paramatma Vastu in his life? Why this should be a mistake? Now you understand how they have propagated this entire scenario. Purposefully, deliberately, they have tried to sabotage the image of Rama and Sita in our mind. Okay, fine, moving on. Tvachitta Tutparayana. Yeah, I shapat, I did not come prepared for all these things. I just, you can see this. This is Moolam. This is Ramayana Moolam. Okay. This Ramayana Moolam, I just, I use a pencil. Like a 6-year-old boy, I use a pencil. I just identify some words. I scribble through some words just half an hour before this. Whatever comes from the Rama. Okay, not me. These are not my words. These are his words. Okay, this is too much. Okay, moving on. Rakshita Rakshasi Bhishchalaya. Studying Bear Acts. So I don't know that. What is Bear Acts? I barely know about them.
No, the actual act and not an interpretation.
Oh, okay.
That's called the Bear
I
Act.
don't read that. The law students, they usually don't read the actual act.
They are supposed to, but a lot of books
They don't usually read it, no? They usually go on case studies. They only study about state versus Ram Jethmalani, something like that.
But reading Bear Acts is a special thrill in itself.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Very nice analogy. Yes. But why was this told? I did not get this.
No, you're saying I only use this.
Oh, acha, oh, like that. Oh, okay. Oh,
The authentic thing.
Okay. Got it. Next one. And pralobhyamana vividham. She was offered plenty of things, isn't it? By Ravana. She was threatened, she was terrorized, she was abused. He used every single trick in the book, and yet Twadgatena antaratmana na achintayat. She did not even think about the amishas that were presented to her, the offers that were thinking about the person who gave you that offer is a different thing. Forget about it. But at least you could give a thought about this offer. That's what business schools teach you these days. Hey, don't go by the person who is offering you the deal. Go by the deal itself. Hey, shoot them. That's not what Sita is. Now, Agni says that she did not even think about all the offers that were given to her by Ravana and his evil company. Okay. And Vishuddha Bhavam. There is something called as Bhava. Okay. It is different from thought and emotion. Okay. And it is pure. Vishuddha Bhavam Nishpapam Pratigrinhishva Maithili. Take her. Okay. Nakinchid Abhidhatavya. You are not supposed to utter a single word to her. This is how a father of a daughter usually speaks to his son-in-law when the son-in-law questions his daughter's purity in front of the world, isn't it? That's why I told you that father-daughter relationship is coming out here. Nakinchid Abhidhatavya. Aham ajñāpayāmite. Hey, I am ordering you, Rama. You are not supposed to speak a single word against Sita. Just look at that innocence. Just enjoy that for a moment. Tatah Pritamana Rama. All of a sudden, Rama's face turned into the same pleasant Purnachandra. Shrutvavam Dadhyo Muhurtam. And then he sighed a huge relief. He says that Harsha Vyakula Lochana, and tears came out of Rama's eyes. Nobody will ever tell you this. Never tell you this, that Rama cried at this moment. Why? Because it would reveal that Rama was a great man, isn't it? That's why they won't tell you. Harsha Vyakula Lochanaha. He had tears. Evamukto Mahateja Dhritiman Uruvikramaha. And then he regained his composure. And then Avashyan Chapi Lokeshu Sītāpaharanam Arhati. He spoke. People will talk about me like this. Bālisho Bataramoyam Kamatma Daśarathatmajaha. People would think that I am not Atmavan, but I am Kamatma. He missed his wife. All the people that usually keep on telling this, did Rama not miss Sita? Did Sita not miss Rama? You see, their concept of missing is revolving around the lust called as Kama. That's what Rama is referring here. Entire world, if I accepted Sita as it is, even if I knew that she is pure, the world would definitely point fingers at me, saying and claiming and blaming me that I was a lustful man. Who thinks like this? And then people will come and tell you that, kuch to log kahenge, logon ka kaam hai kehna. No. No. You lead a public life. Remember, he was a king. Okay. If you are a king, if you belong to royal family, your life is public life. You don't have a private life. You live for the people. And you cannot say that kuch to log kahe. No. People are there to judge you. If you do not want to be judged by people, stay in a forest. That's my advice to all those people. If you do not want to be judged by people, stay in a forest. Shut your mouth. Do not present your opinions to the world. If you want to present your opinions to the world, then be prepared to take criticism as well. But what kind of logic is this? Is this a fairy tale? We don't live in a fairy world where everything happens fair and square. Everybody likes and comments on your posts. No. The world that these people are creating, and then they make pills for depression. They create depression and then they prepare pills for depression. Bloody Americans, I tell you. Oh, sorry, I will come back. Iti vakshati mam lokaha. This is how the world will perceive me. Janakim avishodhya. If I did not examine Janaki and accept her, this is how the world will view me. Ananya hridayam. And these are some of the words that Rama speaks about Sita. Okay. No man can ever speak these words who has loved and lived his life. Men have tall claims saying that, I love my wife, blah, blah. No. Nobody can love their wife. Nobody can understand their wife as Rama did Sita. Just go through these words, you will understand. You can never reach that level. I can assure you that. Ananya hridayam Sitam, machitta parirakshinim. She is Ananya hridaya. What is the meaning of the word Ananya hridaya? It's not like I have something in my mind and she has something else in my mind. Differences of opinion do matter in successful relationships. Okay. Opposites do attract. You see all these idiotic things now, when you observe the pure love between Rama and Sita, that's how you separate nonsense from the truth. Ananya hridayam Sitam, machitta parirakshini. And it's not submission. Ananya hridayam, you don't have to be submissive in order to have the same heart. It's because we have never found such kind of a person in our life. Okay. That's why we can never understand what is the bond that was shared between Rama and Sita. Okay, enough about it. Ananya hridayam Sitam. Ahamapyavagacchami. Even I know that Sita is pure. Imamapi vishalakshim rakshitam svena tejas. And I also know that she has protected herself in the jungle of Ravana's kingdom. And forget about it. And then why did you do this? And also he says that Ravano nati varteta velamiva mahodadhi. See, the samudra, the ocean, never crosses its boundary. Oceans are known for that. Samudra iva gambhirye. Maryada is boundary. And the best example for Maryada is the oceans, because they never cross their boundary. Global warming, tsunami, Okay, why didn't he tell? No, I expected. Why has Ramya madam not asked a single question so far? Okay, here she is. Why didn't he tell all this before she decided to jump? If he did that, then it would have seemed as if it was a Mili Bhagat by the husband and wife. Rama and Sita would have appeared like con men to the common world. That's your answer, isn't it? It was all like, prejudiced. It was all pre-planned. They had this understanding between themselves. I would make you to, I will make tall claims against you. You claim that you are going to jump into fire, and then I will come and protect. Yeah, correct. Match fixing. No. Whatever it is, you present it to the world. I hope I answered that question.
Sir,
Okay. Yes,
I have one observation, more
please,
than
please.
question.
Please.
I think perhaps, this is a learning for me today. When we use the word Valmiki's protagonist is Sita here, because perhaps we should look at the entire episode as being focusing on Sita.
Correct.
Than what Rama did, what Rama did not do. Right? I think we get carried away just focusing too much on Rama.
Fabulous. Fantastically put. Because Valmiki has claimed it long ago that Sita Charitam Mahat. This entire Rama Katha can be interpreted in 3 ways. Ramayanam, Sita Charitam, Paulastyavadham. This is Sita Charitam for you. This is Sita's story now. Oh, fantastic, beautiful. I loved that point. Oh, and then he says that Ravana could not get to Sita even in his dreams, even if he wished, even if he did tapasya for thousands of years, he could not get Sita because he is not made for Sita. Okay, and then pratyayarthan, then why did you do this? Okay, why did you do all this drama? Just like how Ramya madam asked the question now. Why did you do all this drama then? Why did you ask her to do all this? Why did you not speak all these things? No, she has a beautiful mind. Exact question. She has read, and Rama has read her heart. So Rama responds to that question. Ramya madam, see, Rama's answer for you. Pratyayarthan tu lokanam trayanam satya samshayah. To prove beyond any doubt to all 3 worlds forever. That's why I had to do this. If he had spoken all these things, if he had said that I know you are pure and all, it would have stayed only for that moment, right? But if you prove this, it has become ajaramara. It has been forever etched in the minds of mankind, in the history of mankind forever. That's the way you present your wife to the world. That's how you celebrate your wife in front of the world. Okay. This is the reason why I ignored when she stepped into fire. When she took that decision to step into the fire, upekshe chapi vaidehim pravishantim hutasham. In spite knowing everything, I did not stop her from doing it. Because this story needs to be told for generations to come. Therefore, and Nahi Shakta Sudushtatma Manasapihi Maithili. Okay, all these things. Right. Then the last words that are absolutely brilliant by Rama. Ananyahi Maya Sita. Earlier he had used the word Ananya Chitta, isn't it? Now he says that Ananyahi Maya Sita. It means that I and Sita are not 2 different people. Yeradu deha, vandu atma, not that kind of children love. Sorry. Not that kind of thing. This is a different level. Okay. Sorry, sometimes I get too passionate and use some words that are not very sophisticated in nature. But you have to understand the intensity behind it. The point why I make such kind of claims. That's all. Because these kind of words are easily accessible and available in the world. Okay. 2 bodies, 1 soul. These kind of lines are very cheesy and can be found everywhere, in every nook and corner. And that is celebrated as love, unfortunately. That's not love. That's foolishness. This is love. When you put your, when your wife decides to step into fire and you stand there as a mute spectator so that she can have her moment where she can prove it to the world what a true woman is all about. And you stay back, you step back, you just watch her do it. And then you say that I knew this all along, and I and my wife are not different from one another. This is the kind of love that you need. And now you tell me, when you have understood that this kind of love between Rama and Sita, do you think it is wrong to wish a newly married couple that may your love be like Sita and Rama? People don't appreciate it when you say that to them. Foolish people, I tell you. Okay, moving on. Ananyahi maya Sita, Bhaskarasya prabhayatha. Can you ever separate glow, shine, light from the sun? You cannot. That's how inseparable Rama and Sita are. Okay. Navihatum maya shakya kirti ratmavata yatha. Okay. Avashyancha maya karyam sarvesham vo vachohitam snigdhanam lokanathanam evancha vadatam hinam. In spite claiming all these things, as polite as he can get, Rama says that but I shall follow all the words that have been passed on to me by you people, I mean by you gods, because what is a human life if we are not following the orders given to us by the gods? And you are the ones who are actually taking care of all of us. So if you have instructed me not to speak a word on this to Sita, I shall follow that. Politeness, Vinaya of Rama. And after this, Mahadeva could not hold back. Mahadeva speaks only when there is happiness. Okay, when there is something, ecstatic, that's when Mahadeva speaks. Otherwise, he's always in his dhyanam. Okay, he doesn't speak much. Now he speaks because this is the moment that Mahadeva speaks. You can imagine that a man of tapasya, a man of samadhi, has tried to break his samadhi and speak. It has forced him to speak. That's the kind of level that Rama and Sita's love has been shown. So he speaks, he says that you have to get back to Ayodhya and stay there and rule this world. And you have to ensure that dharma stays in this world. And then he says that you have to perform an Ashwamedha Yaga, Ishtva Turagamedhena. And your father, and there is somebody who wants to meet you. See whom I have brought here. Your father. Meet your father, Daśaratha. Now, the father and son are meeting again. After such a long, tedious, tiresome journey, they are reunited. And both Rama and Lakshmana do Abhivadanam to their father. And again, Aropyanke Mahabahu, Varasanagata Prabhu. Daśaratha took both of them on his lap, and he started speaking to them, and everything was told. And he said that the entire city of Ayodhya is so blessed that they are going to see you as their king. Do you know what Rama asked his father at this moment? Only one thing. I will tell you what he asked. Iti Bruvanam Rajanam Rama Pranjali Rabravit. He folded his hands and he sought his father only one thing. Kuru Prasadam Dharmagnya. You have to forgive and you have to be prasanna. You have to be pleasant for one man, for one person. Who is that? Kaikeya Bharatasya. You should have a pleasing mind towards Kaikeyi and Bharata. Because as far as I remember, you had disregarded them. If you remember correctly, in Ayodhya Kandam, Daśaratha disregards Kaikeyi as his wife. He says that I shall forego you as my wife, and I shall forego Bharata as my son. He seeks, Rama with folded hands seeks that Saputram Tvam Tyajami iti Yadukta. Saputram Tvam Tyajami. I will forego of you. I will forfeit you along with your son. This is what Daśaratha had told Kaikeyi. It is not right. No husband should ever desert his wife and son. So politely, Rama reminds that. Why? not to gain any brownie points with Bharata or Kaikeyi, because it hurts their prospects of getting Uttamagati in life. If you do not have Pitru Prasada, Pitru Prasannata, if you do not have the blessings of your ancestors, nothing, mark my words, nothing can happen in your life. Pitru Priti is very, very important, very vital. Rama understood that. So that's why he seeks that. Sashapaha Kekayim Ghoraha Saputram Nasprashet Prabhu. The curse that you had put on them, may it not touch them. Please, this is the only request that I have. A man who always puts his family first than his self-interest. This is Rama for you. Okay, agreed. ये भी कोई पूछने की बात है. And if Rama asks, who will not say yes to Rama? And if you know how to ask, how to seek, this was done. Then he spoke to Lakshmana. It must have been a very embarrassing situation, you may think. But if you remember correctly, Rama always consoled Lakshmana with one line. Madbuddhir anugamyatam. At the end, Rama used to tell Lakshmana only this thing. Madbuddhir anugamyatam. Think like me. You will understand. And he made Lakshmana himself. He turned Lakshmana himself. That's proper mentorship. That's how you mentor people. Okay, Rama mentored Lakshmana. So now Daśaratha is speaking to Lakshmana. He says that, what a wonderful person you are. You have followed Rama like a shadow. Sometimes in a day, the shadows might even desert you, but never you. You have never deserted Rama. I'm very much pleased with you. Rame prasanne swargancha mahimanam tadhotam. He only wished that keep the pleasantness of Rama flowing towards you. That's all I wish you. I wish that may Rama be always pleasant towards you. What a brilliant blessing this is for Lakshmana. And then now it was the time for Sita. He called upon Sita. Daśaratha calls upon Sita, and he speaks to her. Kartavyo natu vaidehi manyustyagam imam prati. Vaidehi, you should not get angry on Rama for the manner in which he deserted you in just a few moments ago. Never get angry. Why? Ramenedam vishuddhyartham kritam vai twadhitaishina. Because he was your true well-wisher. A true well-wisher. Therefore, he did this for your betterment. And you should not mistake him. Sudushkaramidam putri tava charitra lakshanam kritam yattenya narinam yasho hyabhibhavishyati. Oh, another reminder. Fantastic reminder. He says that whatever you have done, Sita, I don't think any woman can ever surpass this. The words spoken by Daśaratha. Kritam yat, whatever you have done in this life, okay, anya narinam yasho hyabhibhavishyati. You have reached right at the top of the list of all great women. If you make a list of all great women, Sita would be at the top of the list. Because she has done something remarkable, something phenomenal that nobody could think of. Okay. And who is Rama? He says to everyone, both Lakshmana and Sita, he addresses them both together, and he says that Devanam hridayam saumya guhyam ramam parantapaha. Devanam hridayam Ramaha. Definition of Rama by Daśaratha. The same man who refused to send his son along with Viśvāmitra. Kakapakshadharaschayam. He said to Viśvāmitra, abhi abhi daadi mooch nikal rahi hai mere bacche ki. Don't take him away from me. The same man who saw a 14-year-old boy, now because he has attained his, according to his karma, he has attained that pitritvam, he has become a devata now. He understands what truly Rama is. What is Rama Tattvam? Devanam, he is not a god. Never ever consider Rama to be a god. Okay? Then what is Rama? Devanam hridayam. The heart of all gods is Rama. Okay. Rama is not a god. Rama is the heart of gods. Do you get such kind of a definition anywhere else? This is Ramayana for you. Devanam Hridayam, and that too a secret heart. Guhyam. The most secret heart of God's is Rama. This is the line that will lead us towards Upanishad. This is Upanishad for you. Valmiki, he has not left anything, no stone unturned by Valmiki. And then all the gods were there. So Rama thought that this is the right time to present his case. So they all said that we are all very much pleased by the work that you have done for this world, for the betterment of this world, because you have killed Ravana. You have removed the evil called Ravana. We are very much pleased. What do you want? He could have asked for himself. Nothing. He said that Mama hetov parakrantaha yegata yamasadanu. The monkeys who laid their lives for my sake, te sarve jivitam prapya samuttishtantu vanaraha. Let them all get back their life. Let them all lead their life. People who laid their lives for me, make them alive again. And ensure that wherever the monkeys stay in this entire universe, let there always be fruits, flowers, and food available aplenty to them in all seasons. A man who takes care of his soldiers. A man who takes care of his followers. So don't tell me that we have found, don't ever compare any leader to Rama, because no leader can ever be like Rama. A man who brought back his dead soldiers to life, not by black magic, not by anything else. His sheer humility, his sheer politeness, his sheer strength, his sheer ability to converse with the gods. He was the true and original Godfather. When he made a deal, when he offered the gods a deal, the gods had to nod their head. They had to grant him that wish. And that's how the world is filled with monkeys, and you can find that wherever the monkeys are, the nature looks beautiful, courtesy of Rama. What else can we say about this man, isn't it? A man with a golden heart. Okay, now we still have 23 minutes. So they all said that you please return to Ayodhya. Vibhishana comes to Rama. He says that, can you please stay back here for at least a day? At least for one hour, or at least for some moment, can you stay back and accept my gratitude? I want to host you for a feast. Please, do not say no to me. Am I not your friend? Am I not your servant? Please do not say no to me. He begged, he implored Rama. What did Rama say at this moment? It will purely, surely bring tears to your eyes if you understood what Rama would have said at this moment. Harin Sugrīva mukhyamstvam snanenopanimanthraya. Why don't you offer this feast to all the monkeys led by Sugrīva? They have worked very hard. Okay, please take care of them. And as far as me, Satutam yati dharmatma mama heto sukhochitah. There is my brother who is suffering for my cause. He was not meant to suffer. Bharata was never meant to suffer in his entire life. Okay, Sukumarochitaha. He was supposed to be raised as a prince, a charming prince. And for no reason, my brother is suffering on behalf of me there. He's waiting for me. He has used the word tamyati. Unnecessarily, Bharata is going through a lot of pain because of me. And Rama remembers this. See, this is what brotherhood is all about. This is what Rama is all about. Tamvina kekayi putram bharatam dharmacharinam name snanam bahumatam. I do not even want to take a shower after these many days of rigorous battle. without Bharata, without seeing Bharata. I don't even have to explain anything, I guess. And then again, Vibhishana tries. Ahante yadyanugrahyo. He tries to blackmail Rama. That if you consider me to be, capable to receive your anugraha, okay, yadismarasi me gunan, if you remember my goodness, okay, vasatavadiha prajna, please stay here for a few minutes, at least for a few minutes. And he says that I'm not ordering you, I'm only begging you, I'm imploring you to stay back here for a few minutes. And he says that you have already served me well, Vibhishana. With your intellect, with your counsel, you have served me well. I don't need any more service from you. Not in that way. He is not abandoning him. He's saying that you are offering a service to me. You want to serve me meal, serve me feast, serve me a feast, right? You don't have to. You have already served me with your intellectual counsel. I don't need more than that. That much is sufficient for me. Okay. And it's not like nakal vetam nakuryante vachanam rakshasayashvara. It's not like I do not want to keep your word, or it's not like I don't want to listen to your word. Tantume bhrataram drashtum bharatam tvarate manaha. Says that my mind is racing to see my brother. And I just want to go back to Bharata and see him. Okay, so that's all Rama is saying. So Man, and he remembers very fondly, how come you are so much partial towards Bharata? He says that Mam nivartayitum yosau chitrakutam upagataha. He came all the way from Ayodhya to Chitrakuta just to get me back to Ayodhya. Who does that? Especially after getting the entire kingdom for yourself. What kind of a man does that? Bharata did that for me. He wanted to bring me back to Ayodhya. And he bowed down to me. He begged me. Shirasa yachataha. Yes, yeah. Even then, nayasya vachanam kritam. And I could not say yes to him at that moment. Rama still feels bad about it that he could not say yes. He could not. It was not like, he did not want to say yes, but he could not say yes. The power of dharma, you see. But emotionally, he still feels that he owes at least this much to Bharata. This is the reason why I keep telling you there is no other better character than Bharata, apart from Rama, of course, apart from Rama. I know I said the same thing about Lakshmana, but it's like in Kannada we have a saying that Gulganji Vyatyasa. It's like a small difference between Bharata and Lakshmana. If you weigh both of them, Bharata and Lakshmana, it's like it's slightly upper Bharata. Just for this sake. Manyur nakhalu kartavya. And he said that please don't get angry on me. If you could arrange that vehicle for me that you said, I would be more than obliged. Politeness of Rama, I tell you. So he ordered Pushpaka Vimana, and then the journey begins, which we are not going to cover today. We are going to cover it in the next session, because that's how you end the story, isn't it? The journey finally begins from down south, from the shores of Lanka to the streets of Ayodhya. And what all things happen, and how beautiful, how majestic the coronation ceremony was. We will see that on the auspicious day of Ramanavami. If you have any questions, please do ask. I know I have ended this lecture prematurely, because usually I always cross the line. But today we talked about dharma, right? So no crossing line. No. So before the line, on the money. I know I was supposed to finish Uttarakanda. The title reads as Uttarakanda. I'm very sorry. We can have a special session for Uttarakanda. I don't mind. It will be on my clock. It will be on my hour. Any day that if you wish, I will conduct that Uttarakanda story for you if you are willing. but we will end with Uttarakanda. Because there are plenty of things to discuss in Uttarakanda, and I felt I had prepared for Uttarakanda as well, but I genuinely felt that it will take away all the wind from the sails of this ship that has been following through a course. Right? It is almost there to reach its destiny, and I did not want to take away the wind from its sails. Therefore, I apologize for not being able to deliver the story of Uttarakanda. No disrespect for Uttarakanda, but I thought that this incident needed to be understood, needed to be delivered with much deeper analysis. And I have tried my level best to give this incident with as much deeper analysis that I could muster on this particular day. I hope you have understood this. If you have any doubts or clarifications regarding this, you are free to ask. There are a few questions here, I guess. You made me cry today. Thank you. I don't know how I held back my tears. I think my voice was a bit shaky at that moment. It happens. It happens in it. You should be glad that you did not see me crying. Who would want to see this kind of a ugly face crying? So that's okay. Fine. Now we have a question. I want to know what is purity. What Sita want to clarify to Rama. Oh, no. It is, this is like, the reputation of that famous Kannada proverb. Ratri ella Ramayana Kathalahari belage eddu Ramangu Sitegu yen sambandha anta keladru anta. It happens. It looks like that. You listen to the story of Ramayana through an entire night, and then early in the morning you ask what is the relationship between Rama and Sita. No, she did not want to prove anything. She did not want to clarify to Rama anything. Ananya Chitta, isn't it? She knew what Rama's heart is. She cleared it. She clarified it to the world, that she is the purest woman that you can find in this entire world. And what is purity? How do you define purity? Sita is purity. I mean, it's a very abstract thing to actually describe. It is something that you achieve. It is a dharma. It is a condition of mind. It is a phase of mind. That's all I can say. What is purity? Why kama is important for purity or impure in female life? Sorry, I did not get the intention of this question. Kama is important for purity or impure? I did not get the question. Rohit sir, if you can clarify the question, then I would be happy to answer your question. Ramya madam, yes. She has raised her hand.
Yeah, sir, actually, when you were discussing about Krishna and Arjuna, I was away from the phone, but I could only listen and I couldn't answer the question. So in my opinion, the question that you raised, people are okay with Krishna and Arjuna's, and Arjuna surrendering, but why not with Rama and Sita? I mean, I kind of feel it could be because Krishna showed that he was a god and Rama wanted to be like a human and they both were equal. I just felt that.
I have an answer. Oh, I have an answer. I don't get stumped again and again. I have an answer. I was just joking. So Krishna showed his magnificence, had to show his magnificence in order to make Arjuna believe that he is, in fact, Sanatana Dharma. Krishnam Dharmam, Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha. Krishna is known to be Dharma itself. So they are not different, first and foremost. And secondly, who is to say that Sita had not realized that Rama is Dharma? She had understood that. Otherwise, Sarva Dharmajnam, that adjective, would mean nothing. If she uses that adjective, it means that she has understood who truly Rama is. Therefore, the kind of sophistication that exists in between Sita and Rama definitely does not exist between Krishna and Arjuna, because it needed, because they were in a different context. It was in different perspective. Therefore, we cannot expect the same kind of subtlety or sophistication when it comes to the understanding of the supreme tattva by the disciples. Here, by disciples, I mean both Sita as well as Arjuna. Not maturity. I wouldn't use the word maturity for that. It's not about being matured. It's about they both needed different paths to understand what is Paratattvam. They both needed some time to understand what is Paratattvam. They both were in different leagues. We cannot possibly compare Sita and Arjuna. Secondly, it's always a mistake to compare any two yoga sadhakas, Whoever is into Atma Sadhanam, it's wrong to compare two people, even if they are the disciples, even if they are the Shishyas of the same Guru. You must never compare two sadhakas, because both their paths do not cross one another, and both their paths are chosen by the Guru, and both their paths are different from one another. So there is no point of comparison for both of them, because there is no similarity except the fact that they are the Shishyas of the same Guru. Therefore, the Guru here is the Paratattvam, and it has two forms, one in the form of Rama, one in the form of Krishna. But other than that, there is no other similarity that we can find between Sita and Arjuna. Therefore, the only thing that binds these two scenarios, these two episodes together, is the fact that both of them, both Sita and Arjuna, had surrendered to their respective form of Supreme. I mean, the form that Supreme appeared in front of them. The Paratattvam appeared to both of them in two different ways. For Arjuna, Krishna appeared in Vishvarupam. For Sita, Rama appeared in her heart as a personification of Dharma. So, did I get the answer for you? I mean, was it okay?
Probably I mistook what you were telling then. I thought you were comparing, which is why I brought the question up. No.
Yeah.
Okay. And one more thing, you use this line key to show us you use his vibes, like, he didn't get great vibes from Sita while ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ key, like he asked certain questions, right? And then Sita went to the fire. You told ki to show us, that is why Rama did that. So that we wouldn't doubt or something like that. Have I understood it right, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So probably if you would have shown the other way by not doubting at all, even we wouldn't have doubted.
I'm not sure about it. Are you sure about it? That we would not have doubted Sita? I
wouldn't have.
Because we are animals. We would doubt. We are the people who raise fingers against Rama. And would we have left Sita if she had not proven herself? I don't think so.
It's the way you show it. If that angle wouldn't have come, probably even we would have just taken it like whatever, doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani.
We are not that much doodh ka dula, isn't it? Intellectually, we are not that much evolved to get it right. It's very difficult. Including me, I'm saying this. It's very difficult to understand the subtleties and the nuances of Dharma. Sukshma paramadurgneya satam dharma plavangama. Statement made by Rama to Vālī in the argument between Rama and Vālī. He said that Satan Dharmaha, the way Satpurushas, the way great men behave in the pretext of Dharma, is very, very difficult, almost close to impossible to decode, to decrypt. It's very difficult to decrypt it. The reason is it's very subtle. We don't understand in the grand scheme of things if Dharma, how do I put it? In Upanishad, the Paratattva is considered to have taken a resolve, sankalpam, so kamayata bahusyam praja yeyepi. So if the Paratattva itself decides to take the things in a particular fashion, in a particular way, for the sake of the world, then I mean, we cannot probably ask the Paratattvam or claim or seek that, Paratattvam could have done it differently. In the grand scheme of things, we might be missing some point. I might be missing some point because I have not understood the grand scheme of things. Why exactly Rama and Sita had to go through this entire process instead of, presenting it as, doodh ka doodh and pani ka pani. I totally get your point. I have also asked this question several times to myself. Every time the answer is, I don't know what is the heart behind Rama and Sita going through all these things and presenting it in this way. Sometimes few things need to be done this way. We have a saying in Kannada, halu kaidashtu ruchi jasti. So we cannot say that speeden up the process. Sometimes speeding up the process might end up in the outcome of that activity might end up losing its charm. So sometimes we have to go through that process. I hope I was able to.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I just consider that line where you said halu kaidashtu. I mean, otherwise, in my view, he should have just been very happy that he met her and then should have just taken, and irrespective of whoever pointed fingers at her, he should have stood by her and then dealt with everyone. But as you say, some, topsy-turvy moments are required. And last question, where does this Pati Parmeshwar word come from? I mean, I've heard it. I don't know whether it's even written in the scriptures or it's made up. I don't know about it.
It is taken from the episode of Parvati doing penance to get Parameshwara as her husband.
Okay, fine. In case of Shiva, it is fine.
See, so much biased nature. In case of Rama, it is not fine, but in case of Shiva, it is fine.
No, the thing was, I mean, with regard to a normal life, like, like where people, I've watched it in old movies and all, they use this word. That is why.
Yeah, I was joking, but you see how much difficult it is to convince ourselves that Rama was absolutely right. It takes a lot of guts. So
even that. I too felt that throughout. I kept answering the same. I mean, I kept questioning myself about he should have stood by her or something. But it all depends on how Sita took the entire thing when she had to go to the forest. Because, for example, in our lives, it depends whom we choose as a partner. Like we get the qualification. Most of the time, people who are in army, not every girl is okay with it. And if you watch this movie Shersha, where Shersha, okay, it's there's one small thing where the hero of the movie wants to join the army, and the girl gets to know a little later, and she asks, "Why didn't you tell me that?" So he says, "I wasn't sure if girls would accept such a guy." So it's same way. Like in our case, I mean, if at all I get married to an army guy, I will have to be ready. The land is first for him.
Correct.
So I accept that and I will go ahead. So just in case, if I'm very clear, no, I don't want a guy. I want a guy who prioritizes me first. Then I don't think Rama would have been okay. So it all depends. Sita was okay with that. He would prioritize the land over her or what?
It was not land, dharma.
Okay, fine. Dharma or whatever. I mean, so not whatever. It's a rude way of putting it across. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It all comes down to, when we talk about Rama, it all comes down to only one point: dharma. That's all. That's the end point. That's the end game of Rama. Rama's end game is dharma. Okay, there are if you.
I'm done, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. There are a few questions in the chat box. Remember the session of Hanūmān describing Sita in Uttarakanda? Yes, beautiful. For making me understand. No. Nobody is foolish and dumb, but we are ignorant. That's all. We are ignorant about the stories of Ramayana and all. You might shoot me for this question. No, I'm not going to shoot anybody. So it's only a figurative one. I'm definitely not going to do it. Sita was away from Sita was away from Rama. Sita was asked to prove her purity to the world. Why is it Rama did not have or want to prove his own purity of thoughts, actions, etc. during her absence? He did. By all means, he did. When Sita finally goes beneath the earth, when she is consumed by earth, he was a widower, Vidura. We call them as Vidura, not Vidura. Vidura is a character from Mahabharata. This is Vidura, Mahapranam, Vidura. So, and he had to perform, before this, sorry, not when he was Vidura. He had to perform Ashwamedha Yagam. Sita was not there because he had already left Sita. In Uttarakanda, he leaves Sita when she was pregnant. But he had to perform, as the king of the kingdom, he had to perform Ashwamedha Yagam. And in order to perform any yagam, you need patni. That's why she is called as patni. Patyur no yajna sanyoge. Because she is the one who accompanies him in all the yajnas that he does. Therefore, she is called as patni. He did not have a patni. Who said that he did not have a patni? He could have married again, but he did not. He made a golden statue of Sita and kept her. Is that not enough to prove his purity? That he could have had as many wives as he wanted, at least for the sake of sankalpam, at least for the sake of putting water in his hand, he could have had another lady. No, he did not. Why is it not considered as purity? And he never married again. Ekapatni vratatvam. So that never gets discussed enough. Because they take it for granted. When the male community does something these days, it is taken for granted. I'm sorry. But when the same thing is done by female community, it is highlighted. I have no problem in highlighting what the female community does. But if you are talking about equality, then it should be equal, it should be considered equal. Even he did that. Isn't that purity? I mean, sorry if this answer was not aligning properly. I know it is not aligning properly.
No, it's not that. I mean, it does. But my point is, the way she was asked to prove her purity. I mean, the way she volunteered to prove her purity. Okay.
Correct. Well.
I knew the gun was ready. So yeah. So the way she volunteered to prove her purity. I mean, he did not, of course, he did not marry afterwards. I'm not questioning
the very fact that he went through this pain even after getting his wife back, that itself is a testimony to his proving his purity.
Yeah, so a different perspective to what you said. When a woman does it, it's highlighted, and when a man does it, it's taken for granted. On the other hand, a man doesn't need to do all this. It's like, it's okay. Whereas a woman is...
Unfortunately, it has happened.
Yeah, so I guess it's the way you word those things. You can wordsmith that to make it sound different, but yeah.
And also the reason why women are put on so much of spotlight when it comes to purity, chastity, and all these things, because they have immense responsibility.
Yeah, so while that's nice to hear and all that, it's a lot of burden.
Yeah.
It's a lot of burden on women, right? I mean, in reality.
Correct.
If we are glorified, which adds more responsibility and difficulty on the women's heads, I feel. It's a kind of glorification which is probably, I feel, in some ways not required because it gets misused.
Yeah. Kalidasa answers this question in a very beautiful way, very analogically. He says that Padam Saheta Brahmarasya Pelavam Shirisha Pushpam Napunah Patatrinaha. He means that there is a flower called as Shirisha Pushpa, which is the softest flower available in the world. And that flower can bear the weight of a bee, and it cannot bear the weight of a bird. Therefore, the nature always has its own logic. We get burdened only that much that we can bear. Nobody is ever overburdened in the law of nature. It appears so because we don't get by appearance. We need to get to the depth of it. And at the depth of it, at the core of it, this is the truth. Padam saheta bhramarasya pelavam. It can only sustain the weight of a bhramara, that is a bee, and not of a bird. So nature has this rule that we get on our plate what we deserve and how much we can digest, not a tiny thing extra and not a tiny thing lesser than that. So, I mean, that's the hard truth of life. I know how difficult it is to accept it. Everybody goes through that phase where they just do not want to admit this fact, but they know that this is a fact. This is a fact of nature. We get what we deserve, and we get only that burden which we can bear. We don't get any burden which we cannot bear. I know that that's a very disheartening answer.
Not disheartening, but I feel a lot of that gets misused because, if you look at any woman, right, it's the woman who has to hold the family together. She has to adjust with everybody. And, the way it is, I would say, thrust on women, we don't need that glorification sometimes. You just want to be.
There is a reason for that, madam. You have seen that ash gourd. I recently learned that word. I did not know that ash gourd means bhoot gumblikai. Okay, I did not know that. Very recently I got to know. So a creeper can hold on to several ash gourds. Do you think that size of a fruit or that size of a vegetable, what happens if it grows on a tree? The tree will fall down because the tree cannot bear that kind of a that size. In nature itself, I am speaking. The heaviest objects are usually grown on a creeper, and usually these creepers are compared to a female, and the tree is compared to a male. It's not about strength, it's about their uniqueness, it's about what they bring to the world. And sometimes there can be never a role reversal and all. It just the way it is. Yeah. And only when people understand all these things, only when they are educated about these things, that's when they will realize the worth of a woman. Otherwise, they will misuse this. I'm 100% sure about it. I'm dead against all those idiots. Whoever misuses this, they must be hanged and shot. There's no doubt about it. But if just because a few people, not few people, 99% of people misuse this, we cannot discount 1%, isn't it? There is still truth remaining. And that's the nature of Kali Yuga. What can we do? It's very feeble. And whatever truth remains in Kali Yuga, it's very feeble and scattered. So it takes a long time to gather them together and get a complete picture. Until then, patience. We have to plow through it. That's all.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. What is Sita clarifying to the world? Oh, can we hear Vyasa Bharatam? Oh, that's a huge thing. Let us see. Okay. Now, Sita clarifying to the world that it takes tapasya to be a great woman. That's what she is clarifying. And again, purity in action, purity in thoughts, purity in speech, karmana, manasa, vacha. She has said all those things. What if Sita impure and what Rama would do? If Sita was impure, then it would put a stain on yatha raja tatha prajaha, isn't it? The world follows the order set by the king. And if the king admits and accepts and acknowledges the mistakes, errors committed by his own family, by his own people, then if he is not diligent enough, then the followers, the subjects would also not be diligent. So that's the reason. the world knew how Rama was without his wife. It was seeing Rama every second, but Lanka was a closed castle to the world. Oh, it was about proving his purity, but that still does not prove Rama's purity, right? It only shows the hardships that Rama went through. I think the right answer is that, that I said that the very fact that Rama stood there as a mere spectator when his wife called upon the fire to step into it, in spite of knowing everything, every inch of Sita's purity, he had to stand there. That shows sometimes the test of purity happens in a different way, in different levels. They got two separate question papers in the subject purity 101. That's all.
Explanation was for why was Rama not tested for his purity, because there was no necessity for it.
There was a necessity for the test of his purity, and he gave that examination. He gave that ordeal to the world by the way he conducted himself during this entire incident. Not just this incident, even during Sita's Parityaga, he conducted himself in such a way that has never been heard of, in a very unique way. And that's Rama's testimony to the world about his purity. Because purity, to answer Rohit's question, if we have to say what is purity, then purity is taking a stand for dharma is purity, or being dharma, being a personification of dharma is purity. And Rama did that on several occasions. So that's how, that's what I said, they got different kind of questions in their question papers about purity. They were asked to prove their purity in different ways. Don't you think Daśaratha never uttered the word to Rama to leave for forest? Technically speaking, Rama was never bound by Daśaratha's words, isn't it? Technically. Strictly speaking, technically, Rama was never bound by Daśaratha's words, and yet he did that. Wasn't that a test of his purity? We can go and he conducted himself in such a way. And when that person himself died, and the person who was entrusted with the responsibility of taking care of kingdom, he was willing to give back the kingdom to Rama, and yet he did not accept it. Don't you think that's even moral dilemmas test our purity? That's what I'm getting at. Moral dilemmas too test our purity, and Rama came out with flying colors in every single moral dilemma that he faced. Therefore, he proved his purity in that way. I think that's a more fair interpretation of purity. As I said, Sita got an objective question and he got a descriptive question, a 10-mark question. The way you approach a 10-mark question is different. The way you approach a 2-mark question is different. And both questions are treated equally. But was Rama happy throughout after sacrificing so much for dharma? He did not sacrifice. Oh, okay. He was happy. Where are you getting the sense that he was not happy?
Later, sir, after Sita goes away.
Yeah, he was happy. Happiness is something that is not derived from, how do I put it gently? It is not something that we derive from the company of fellow human beings. I'm sorry if I have offended. That's not the idea of happiness that Bharatiyas have. I suggest you go through that Brahmananda Vālī of Taittiriya Upanishad, where they give gradation of happiness. Manusha Ananda, Manushya Gandharva, Deva Gandharva, Karma Deva, Pitru Deva, and then Deva, Indra, Brihaspati, Prajapati, and at the end there is Brahmananda. So our lakshya, our aim has always been Brahmananda. So if a person has attained that Brahmananda, Yaccha Trishna Samudbhavam, Yaccha Kama Sukham Lokya, now I remember, yes. I taught this yesterday. Yaccha kama sukham loke. And whatever happiness that we can actually gather in our mind, we can fathom in our mind, that we can attain in this world, you place all the happiness of this world that we can imagine on one side of a weighing machine, and then Trishna Kshaya Sukhasya. And when we get rid of all the desires, wanted, unwanted, all kinds of desires, we are talking about Brahmananda. When we reach that Turiya Sthiti, when we reach that Samadhi, there is that Ananda. And you keep that Ananda on the other side of the weighing machine, the Brahmananda always comes up. And if a person has attained that Ananda, and that is the Ananda anybody attains when they stand for Dharma. The fruit of Dharma is moksha. It's a circle. When we say Chaturvidha Purushartha, the moment, this is the problem with all of us. I have also faced this problem. The moment we hear the word 4, how do we represent 4? I do this exercise with students actually. I give them a number and I ask them to come up with a geometrical representation of the digit. When you give the number 3, most of them, they come up with a circle. Oh, sorry, triangle. Okay. And when you give them a number 4, they write either a rectangle or a square. We are always boxed. It is not wrong, but it can also be viewed as a circle, isn't it? 4 points. It can be a circle as well. So Dharmartha Kama Moksha need not necessarily be in a form of a grid, in the form of a square. It can be circular as well. So Dharma, and under the aegis of Dharma, if we go through Artha and Kama, we are bound to reach Moksha. So circle, isn't it? So moksha is the fruit of Dharma. Moksha is Brahmananda. Ananda, happiness. That's how I connected. Was I able to answer the question?
Yeah, sir. I mean, what I meant is, distance. I mean, the distance between Rama and Sita, even after that, was he happy? With regard to that, not at a higher, larger picture.
But we are talking about Rama, right? So he is a higher soul. So anyway, if we are strictly talking about the human emotions at a very elementary level of human emotions, we all saw what kind of emotions he went through when he was separated from Sita. And he did feel the same even after Sita was sent to forest. So that was always there. Was this question, was this answer
yes,
more
sir. Yes, sir.
relatable? Yeah. Okay, so I think we can safely conclude this session. So let us be prepared for the final session. So as I said, it might
I
be.
have a question. I had
Yes.
a question.
Yeah.
I have typed it also. I
Oh.
wanted to know, why Kubera was not given the throne back. What was the Ravana took everything from Kubera. That's what I according to my knowledge. And who created that Pushpak Viman also? I wanted to know that.
Yeah. Pushpaka Vimana was the creation of the divine architect. What is his name? Vishwakarma. Okay, that's the work of the divine architect. That's answer for the question number 2. Question number 1: they were not direct brothers. That's not the word they usually use in English. They were not directly connected. They are like Savati Maklu. Oh, how do you put it? Savati Maklu in English.
Step brother.
That one. Yeah, they were step brothers. They were not actual brothers. Kubera and Ravana. Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Shurpanakha, and Vibhishana. This is the order. They were actually related siblings. Kubera was elder to Ravana. He was born from the same father, but for a different mother. And the fact that he originally Lanka belonged to him. Lanka belonged to Kubera. Kubera was stationed at Lanka by Brahma himself. But Ravana, after gaining all the Varadanam from Brahma, he shooed away Kubera from Lanka.
Yes, but yes, I understand that. But then Rama should have returned it back to Kubera, or what was the reason?
Yeah,
I wanted to
got it.
understand.
There was no necessity for Rama to reinstate Kubera in Lanka because Kubera was a Lokapala, so he had bigger responsibilities. He was he belonged to a divine cabinet ministry. So he was a divine cabinet minister. So he had a different bungalow for him. And his place was already created by Brahma. He said that you better stay near Alakananda, near Mandakini, where the Ganges gets its origin. So he was already relocated by Brahma before this happened. Therefore, there was no necessity for him to shift back. So that's one of the reasons why Kubera, actually you are absolutely right. Kubera was the owner, original owner before Ravana of Lanka. Even before Kubera, it was constructed by Maya for the sake of Rakshasas. Malyavan and all, they stayed there. But then they were all sent back to Patala after they were thoroughly defeated by Vishnu in Devasura Sangram. And afterwards, Kubera was staying there for several years. And then Ravana came and shooed him away, snatching that all Pushpaka Vimana and everything. And then he went to his father, actually, because Ravana sent a memorandum to Kubera asking that, why don't you vacate this place? I want this place. No. Notice, sending a notice to his stepbrother. So he promptly, Kubera went to his father. He sought his expert opinion. He said that you don't want to get in with any argument with this person, because he's always going to be a troublemaker. So why don't you leave that place, go and stay in Himalaya? And his father's orders were followed diligently by Kubera. So he relocated himself. So that's the reason why he was not reinstated. At this time, At this time, how many years of marriage Rama and Sita completed? It's very difficult to put a number because the exact age has not been revealed. Usually, the style of revealing the age was slightly different back in those days. Sita says that how young was Sita when she married Rama? She says that her teeth had fallen and they were beginning to, what do you call that, come back. That's the age. That's how you calculate age back in those days. That's how she reveals that. And Rama's age has been revealed as, Kaka Pakshadhara, where he was actually getting facial hair at that time. So kind of that age. From there, 14 years has been mentioned. So you calculate, add 14 years. So maybe around 30, 28, 30 kind of age. Marriage, easily 15 years of marriage. I mean, if we have to deliberately put a number, then 15 years. Was it convincing?
Yes, sir. I mean, there is a point where Sita says, you've seen me since childhood, right?
Yes,
So
because her teeth had broken and then coming back. So childhood. And when we grow old, we also get our teeth broken either by a dentist or by somebody else, but that doesn't count. It's a natural phenomenon that she's talking about. What Rama did for Vanaras, because thousands of Vanaras died in the war. Did Vanaras went with Rama to Ayodhya? Yes, they do. They do go to Ayodhya with Rama for the coronation ceremony, which we are going to discuss in the next session. They all did. They were all invited by Rama. Okay.
So you will be telling us all the stories of Uttarakhand, like at least a few of the important stories. Yeah. Like actually, I really wanted to know about like how Rama and the end of Rama and all the things to know. And
as I said,
next,
it doesn't just bode well with the flow of the story that we are going through, because it's a parampara that we have in our country that it should end well. It should end in a sweet note. on a sweet note. It should end on a sweet note. The actual end of Uttarakanda is not sweet. It breaks your heart. It shatters your heart. So, I thought that maybe we will end it like this, and then we will take up Uttarakanda whenever the time permits. So let us see how it goes. So far, we will end it here. In which session you had told this, but you had told parents are always right in taking decisions for their children. So what about 3 Idiot movie ka message? The name itself says idiot ka message. So sorry, that was a bad joke, I guess, but it's a deliberate attempt to take away the one thing that all of us are very close to. I know many people come up with this kind of question to me, saying that sometimes the parents are abusive, the parents punish their children, etc., and they go through a lot of hardships and all these kind of things. But we experience what we are bound to experience. We get only that food, that much of food that we deserve. That's how karma works. So we can't complain. So parents usually, whatever decision they take, 95% of the time they take right decisions. 5% of the times they take decisions and they turn out to be right. I hope you got the answer. Okay, fine. Thank you. So we will all see you. We will all meet again on 30th. It's not a Sunday, it's a Thursday. So I do understand that you will have some commitments with your work as well, but do make some time for this session. This is going to be the last session. As I told before, it will only be like half of the session I will speak, and the remaining half is open to all of you. You can speak, you can present your views, an overview of the entire course, and what are the things that you are taking from this year-long yajnam and all these things. And we do appreciate if everybody contributes, because we want all of you to contribute, to put it in plain words. So it will be nice to hear from you as well, because 47 hours of my speaking against 1 hour of all of you combined together is nothing. So that much is okay, I guess. So I will be looking forward to listen to each and every one of you. So see you on Thursday. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.